I'm getting letters about why I'm a horrible example to young girls.
People like to leave hate comments to get my attention.
Has to come from a place of confidence and just being like, well, everyone's gonna have an opinion.
Hello, everyone! Hi, and welcome to Tea Talk! I never prepare anyone. I never tell anyone. Like,
And I jumped the gun.
No, it's good. You got the gist, though. It's because we're on our second
I know.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's Tea
So
Talk.
much tea.
Here we go. So, hi guys. We are back today, here to drink some tea, and we have some special guests. So, to my right, we have. Say your name. It's so close. That's basically what your name is.
Dad.
Like he was gonna say his name. We got
Dirt.
Yeah.
Mullinger! Yeah! This is my dad. I felt like usually when I'm talking, I'll take it away. I'll be like, I'm Nikki Philippi, but I wanted to introduce you first since you were
Thanks.
here on the planet before I was. So, then we have me. I'm Nikki Philippi. Hello. What's up?
She's the fruit of my loins.
That's true. That's what I am. There you go. Uh-huh.
Talia Sazarulo, hello.
And Nicole Jacqueline.
It's really Nichole. Don't let her fool you.
Nichole.
So, yeah, we're pretty excited to be sitting here and sipping some tea and having some great conversation. And today, the tea that we're sipping is by the brand called Aloha, and it is their Beauty Organic Herbal Tea. So it's got juniper berry, green rubius leaf, rooibos? Rooibos. That's how you say it. Rooibos leaf. Hibiscus flower, rose hip, sea buckthorn berry, and dandelion root. Caffeine free.
Hey.
That's great. Yes. All right, so everybody, it's time to take a sip and weigh in on your feelings on this tea.
Why don't I not have the big pretty mug?
We decided that you didn't need a Nikki P cup.
Oh.
It's good. With all those ingredients, you think it would be like, bam! But it isn't.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I feel like I just brushed my teeth, so I'm a little bit, I know it's probably not that smart, but it actually tastes pretty good to me. It tastes better to me than it did actually pre-teeth brushing. So,
No, it's good. I like it. It's
Yeah.
mild. It's not like
yeah, it's not too
crazy.
intense.
Yeah.
What about you?
Tastes like crap.
You don't like it?
No, I'm kidding. I can detect an aroma of rubius leaf in there.
You can do
I mean, Rooibos?
Rooibos.
So yeah, you can detect that Rooibos leaf.
Actually, it's better than I was expecting. I'm not a tea fan.
Yeah, you don't drink tea. We made him. He was
I'm
like,
a
can I just have
coffee
some
maniac.
water? I said,
Yeah.
no, Dad, you're on.
You have to
Tea
do
talk.
You like tea.
No posers here.
Yeah, so exactly. No posers here.
Yes.
So,
It's tea time.
I was about to make a comment that I'll keep to myself.
Ooh,
So,
good self-control.
Yeah, thank you. I feel pretty good about that. So, okay, so today we're going to be talking about social media. And I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty much this whole month, all of our topics have to do with like the internet and social media. And everybody has questions on their phone. And I thought it would be really interesting because, you know, I'm a professional YouTuber. We've got Nichole Jacqueline, who is also a professional YouTuber and is also in school for, what is it?
It's multimedia broadcast journalism.
Yes, so that involves
All the
social
words.
media.
You're on the forefront
Yeah.
of this topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got Talia, who actually, okay, so two things. On one hand, Talia's kind of like, she's a stay-at-home mom. She's, you know, with her kids. She's not like in the social media world. But on the other hand, she is because actually, I've never said this on the internet. Talia helps me with a lot of my comment replies. So I've known Talia for
Long time.
Like,
I went to a sleepover
a
with you
long
singing
time.
Annie and your cute
Oh.
bangs and your that'll come out tomorrow. I think it's like third grade.
That's crazy.
Oh,
I'm having these flashbacks all of a sudden. Was
At
it
Sarah's
Sarah's?
house.
Yes, all of a sudden I'm like remembering it. That's so crazy.
And then Dan introduced you to me at church. And I was like, oh my gosh!
I know you sang Annie at the sleepover.
I love you.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for a long time. So Talia came on board because I needed help, kind of like replying to people and talking to people more. And I was like, someone said to me, they're like, just hire some kid out of college. I was like, I can't just like hire a stranger off the street. I have to hire someone who knows my heart. And Talia knows my heart. We lived with them when they first got married, her and her husband. So that's an interesting perspective. And then my dad is obviously not of the social media generation. He's 40 years late from that generation.
Something like
But
that.
he's involved in it because I started YouTube when I lived at his house. And he's just aware of all of it. He works in marketing and yeah, so we're just gonna start opening questions. I just like took control.
No,
of it. I just wanted to like
no.
explain.
No.
Okay. So who wants to start with the first question? Do you want to move from Nichole down the line again?
Sure.
Do you feel like you have a question? I'm gonna look at him.
I found one that's kind of cool. Yeah, here. How do you find the confidence to put yourself in social media?
Who said that?
That was
Good question.
Kate 25 times.
Butterfly
Kate
sparkly
25
25
times.
It's only 25 times. That was good. So how do you find the confidence to put yourself out? Is that what it was? How do you
Yeah, like, cause it's probably, I'm assuming she means more than just like posting on like Instagram. Maybe if you're starting your own account or you're wanting to like branch into something like a little bit more formal, cause it can be incredibly nerve-wracking.
Intimidating.
I mean, even your
Oh my
story,
gosh.
you posted that nail video and then took it down, and then posted and took it down. Like, and
Yeah.
even I put a couple videos of my kids and stuff on YouTube, and even me, I'm like putting myself out there. I feel like I'm laying my heart on a platter and just like letting people like take stabs at it if they want to, and it's very intimidating.
Yeah.
So like, how do you gain the confidence? And I don't know, I think you would be best to answer that question, but I feel like it has to come from a place of confidence and just being like, well, everyone's gonna have an opinion, and it's not always gonna be a kind one, but you just have to learn to like shake it off and be like, okay, that's their point of view, that's their perspective.
Yeah.
They may be hurting, they may be, you know, and but a lot of the times I think you'll be surprised, it's really positive. So as well, you know, the question assumes you're going in with kind of a negative outlook on it, and yes, that's definitely there, but it's not always the case. There's a lot of people out there that are really kind and sweet, and you know, you just need to realize, okay, what should I be focusing on? Should I be focusing on the one person that's like, your video's too long and you talk really funny and you say way too many times. And you're like, oh,
I feel like that was a
that's
direct
true.
quote from my haters. She's in my comments. She's like, oh, I know what people say. You talk way too much and you say, oh,
Your intros suck my
are
life
so
away.
long. I'm like, I get it.
For
Okay,
every one
obviously I don't. I
person-
keep talking.
But for every one person that says that, there's like 30, you know, 5 people that are like, I
They
love
recognize
it.
how great I am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got it right.
Yeah.
But I'm
It's
sure you would have it better. It is scary.
Yeah, I was watching Hollywood Reporter. They do like these roundtable sessions where they bring like actors, directors, and people, and they get around a table. And like the first question, Dan and I were watching it last night, was, do you guys tweet? And it was a writers roundtable. So it was like the person that wrote Brooklyn. It was Amy Schumer. It was the guy that wrote the Steve Jobs movie. What's his name? Aaron Sorkin. Like just a bunch of people like that. And all of them said no, except for Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer. But I think it's kind of an age thing too. She was also like the youngest at the table. But all of them, the older writers at the table were like, I just don't know what to say. Like I'm afraid that I'm gonna get on there and have writer's block or not know what to say. And I just thought like, wow, that's so interesting because they're really looking at this, which maybe this is the right way because I'm not like the largest social media star on the planet, but they're all really looking at it as like this quality that has to be put into Twitter. And I feel like so many young people really see it as just like, bleh, like, bleh, you know?
Yeah,
or
but
you
there's it seems to me, being grandpa here, it seems to me that there's a huge difference. A lot of people my age and a lot of company representatives that are my age have so much protection. They're so concerned about putting out just the right thing. And a lot of people are kind of tired of that.
Yeah.
They're tired of how you say the bullshit.
He's way too PC.
I love it.
Yeah,
Not getting the hype,
and a lot of millennials are so tired of that what they want is authentic. And so authentic is now.
Yeah.
And pop it out there and people resonate.
No filter.
Yeah,
Hashtag no filter. Yeah, it's really, that makes me think of two things. First off was someone's question, and I want to see if I can find it so they can at least get a shout out because you brought me to the question that I saw. Is it? Oh, okay. At Abigail Elizabeth 1313 said tips for coping with online bullying. So you made me think of that because you were saying like people throwing stuff out there. I don't remember what word you said exactly that
Was it bullshit?
I don't know what it was. But something triggered it because Dan and I were just talking about how like this whole online bullying thing. It's very interesting to me because I wasn't even really that involved in the internet till I started making YouTube videos. It was completely out of nowhere. And then online bullying just kind of came with the territory. It's like, oh look, I'm getting letters about why I'm a horrible example to young girls and why I, all these like accusations against my marriage and me as a person, the way I treat my dogs and whatever. And I kind of like processed full circle of thinking like, well, that's just like the way it is. Like people are gonna say what they're gonna say and like freedom of speech and whatever, but there's been so much talk lately about like what do we do about all the online bullying? And actually as I'm saying this out loud, I'm realizing that this thought is trailing into oblivion and I don't have an end thought of that sentence.
Yeah.
And
But
then
it's
you found
just-
$5.
Yeah, then I found $5. Exactly.
The end.
But it is interesting.
Yeah,
like,
but that also loops right back because see, one of the things I really admire about my daughter is the courage. You know, when you go out, when you go out, to dinner, you are opening yourself up to a lot of potshot comments from people that are hiding behind a fake name.
Mhm.
You know, I'm Ashlyn32. You know, and you're never gonna know what happened.
I don't even have a profile pic.
Yeah.
And there is in their defense, there isn't a side of us. We all do this. We'll watch a movie. Oh, that was stupid. Or we'll make a little comment, and we'll speak abrasively, but then move right on. So our words are more to make an impact to impress you with what I say, but I don't really mean it that much.
Right.
I'm not really, and it's nothing I'd say face to face.
And you wouldn't defend it if you were really pressed, probably.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
I've noticed is people like to leave hate comments to get my attention, which it makes
Yes.
sense.
Uh-huh.
And there's like these like classic comments that are just so hateful, and like you answer them, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they're just like, "What?" Like, was that
Yes,
your-
I was
that
literally
your
just gonna say
intention?
once you confront them, they apologize.
Yeah.
They're like,
And
oh,
back
I'm so
pedal.
sorry.
Whoa.
You hurt
Yes.
my feelings, and now you're
Uh-huh.
like, it's just weird.
Yeah, they don't register that it's
Exactly.
like that they're someone on the other side.
It
It gives you a face, and they're
Yes.
like, "Oh my gosh, you read that." And
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so sorry, but it's like, are you sorry? Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. Really weird territory.
It is
Yeah.
weird. That being said, I can't quite get my head around. I told Dan, I'm like, I don't know if I'm being cold because I've been hurt so much over the last 5 years and I just have to take it and deal with it, or if it's like a legitimate process of thinking. But when I hear about all these online bullying things, a lot of the times my reaction is like, yeah, but isn't that just the world we live in now? Like everybody needs to grow a thicker skin because people can say and do what they want. But then it leads you to the thought of like, or are they really going to be able to? Like, what is life going to look
Yeah.
like
That
in
freedom of
5 years? What is freedom of speech going to look
So
like?
weird.
What's going to happen in the next 5 years? Because people are getting so worked up about what other people say online. It's very
Because
interesting.
if you say something that offends someone else, all of a sudden your argument is invalid because someone was offended.
Yes.
And you're like, no, my argument still holds weight and it should be explored, but that person just chose to take offense with it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of that's where my head's at right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, everybody just needs to grow a thicker skin. But like I said, I don't know if that's just because I'm jaded from the glasses of like my own, like, well, I have to take every stone that's thrown at me
Yeah,
because
yeah.
everybody else should do.
Yeah.
But that is, it's
Yeah.
like it's a slippery slope if you
Yeah.
start trying to like tell everyone they can't say things or do. I don't know. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the laws over the
Oh,
next
yeah.
few years and how that plays out.
I agree.
Well, what I love is on that train of like having to grow a thick skin and everything is that your videos have only increased in their like transparency. You know, like
Thanks.
because you're
Yeah.
like knowing like people that know Nikki like in person, you come like you're very authentic and you're not trying to hide or put on some face or facade. Like, you know, it's just you.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be hard. Like you would think that the opposite would happen, that you would develop this alternate persona of like, okay, this is YouTube me or this is public figure me and this is like me that's just, you know, like
It's just
this
it's
is
a
me in real
struggle.
life.
That's
To
all.
tell
It's
like
so
how
relevant,
you want to.
honestly. Yeah.
You what?
That topic is so relevant though.
Oh, like how to
Because
be.
people are like, oh, like, she's just like that on YouTube, like, you know, that like upbeat personality, or is she just like faking it? And you can't
Yeah.
really tell till you meet someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so refreshing to meet someone and be like, oh my gosh, she's so her. Like, I just met you like today.
Nichole!
And I was like, oh my gosh, this person is like, I'm watching her on a screen, but in real life, and it's a really good feeling. So I think it's hard for like other YouTubers to realize that like they can be themselves
Yeah.
and find a way to be accepted through that.
Yeah.
But
Because-
just like finding that ground of like comfort and like
We're getting
what can I-
attacked from
You know,
it.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like everyone's like, no, this is wrong and that's wrong.
And you're
It's just,
stupid, and you hate the environment, obviously. And you're
Yeah,
mean,
obviously.
Like, all the little things are just like,
Yeah, and you like want to be genuine, but then there's this
Mhm.
other side of it. You're like, is there something that I should be like saving for myself that isn't shared with the world?
Yeah.
Like, it's a very
Exactly.
very interesting waters to wade through.
Yeah, it is. And with fame and with that awareness, when you're touching on people, the multiplication factor is so inversed upon you. I'm reading a book by Charlie Chaplin, who was a great comedian. And he might have been one of the first like true cinema Uber fan, you know, wherever.
Icon.
Yes, icon. Yeah, everywhere he
Okay.
went, people mobbed him, and he was. I mean, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it, but he also could not comprehend it.
Yeah.
He said, "But what? I mean, I'm an actor. I make people laugh, and now they want to touch me."
Yeah.
And he couldn't figure that out.
It is a very weird thing that there are certain people who end up getting into the arts sometimes that like end up having that fandom or whatever that were never mega fans. Like I always say, I never, you know, I didn't really. The only pictures of other people I had on my walls were like if I was trying to replicate their outfits.
Right.
I never like
Yeah.
was fan of anyone. And so even though nobody, you know, it's not like everybody's like fans of me, when I meet people that are like, oh my gosh, it's so weird, I'm like, wow, on one hand, I'm just so appreciated that someone's watching my stuff and likes it that much. Yeah, but then on the other hand, I'm like, I can't imagine what that's like. I've never like had that really. Like, but I guess if I met people in real, no, even though I've never had pictures on the wall, I take that back. Actually, I'm now word vomiting because if I met certain people in real life, I probably would have freaked out.
no,
so I actually take all.
But sorry, I'm just flashing on coming through the living room when you were like 10, watching, and 10 in the morning, watching
My mom's
a
laughing.
red carpet TV. You know, TV show with a replay of different
So fun.
people, you know, fashion stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd go by and I'd go, what is she watching?
That's so funny.
You know, but she's
like
into
cartoons?
the
Nah.
Not me.
Into
the fashion stuff. You know.
I love
I
it.
love Carol.
Yes, yeah,
The
clothes.
fashionable apparel.
Yeah, blouses and stuff. Yeah.
Gotta love those blouses, you know?
Yeah.
So do you want to read the next question? I feel like you
I
had
do
one
actually.
like
I did
prepped
have
and
one
ready to
because
go.
it seemed so apropos to
Oh.
what we're talking about, and this is
You have to
from.
click on it to zoom in.
That's okay. I've got eyes. This was to Nikki. This is from Kitten Cat Lover. Kitten.
Yeah, kitten cat lover.
She said, "Do you think you should limit the time you have on social media every day?" By the way, I love the tea talks.
Oh.
So fun to watch.
Kitten
Love
lover.
you.
Yeah.
So happy to hear that.
So do you think you should limit the time you have on social media every day? Oh, controversial topic. You know, we have our youngest son Casey is 11 and he's on his iPad cranking all over the place. And of course we're concerned about the content he's got coming in, but and our biggest concern, like some people say, well, don't let him get on there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is like the future.
Yeah, this is the
So
future.
true.
My bigger concern, our bigger concern is that he can take that thing, put it down, and have an eyeball-to-eyeball conversation with Nicholi.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
It's Nichole.
Nicholi.
Like Chipotle.
Like Chipotle.
Yes.
Chipotle. Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that he can put it down and talk with people, that he can communicate with them, because then again too on the social media stuff, there's a huge difference between the peanut gallery poppers versus when you meet one face to face and how the conversation ensues. So ultimately, face-to-face communication and being able to relate is a key thing. And so do you limit it? I mean,
No, I know.
It's tough.
I think the key thing is, are you being socially trained to be able to communicate with people and
Yeah, I know.
relate and love people and be kind to them?
Yeah, I'm not using it as a, how do you word this? You end up becoming more involved in that than like relationships in your real life. It's
Yeah.
really interesting the different like struggles that I've had whilst being on YouTube and like different things that I've learned, and like I'll confront different issues and be like, oh, this is an issue for me now. And like I don't think I've ever had a problem with excessive amounts of time, because I'm also really easily able to be like, I'm turning off my phone
Disconnect.
for the night and like be done.
Peace
I mean, to be
out.
honest, our joke is that I'm actually better at it than Dan is. Like Dan will be like, no, and I'm like, put the phone down. I can totally check out. But my struggle, I watched this whole TED talk on it. This psychologist was talking about social media and how it's tricking people into thinking, oh yeah, I have all these relationships, and they were like, it is not the same thing as
Yeah.
having a conversation with someone. Yes, it's a way to connect to the world, and you can talk to all these people you've never talked to before and make sparks of a relationship and maybe become pen pals and whatever.
Right.
And she was like, but it's becoming dangerous because people are thinking like, oh, I have all these relationships. And I was just like, that's me, I'm not talking to people enough, like one-on-one. Like I really need to make sure that I'm divvying up my time appropriately. That's really what it is. And I think it's an awareness of like where you're putting, for me,
Intentionality.
yeah, like, okay, I'm doing this, but then I also need to put time. Like, example, stupid, but kind of the same. Last night, Dan and I were going to a chiropractor, and I had a video that I had to get done. And it's important to me. It's a responsibility, it is a priority. But he was like, you have to get this video done. And I was like, you know what though? Videos and social media is not my only priority. My body is also a priority to me. And I think that's where it comes into play. It's like social media, it's like that's one thing if maybe it's your job or you like it, whatever, but you have to prioritize other areas of your life.
Right.
That's what I feel like. I dominated that. Anyone else?
No,
Take it
no,
away.
that's good. It's like the opportunity. What is the opportunity that you're missing by engaging in social media at the time? Like, is social media your job, and is that something that's actually giving back to you?
Yeah.
You know, then it's not really. Then it'd be hard to limit your hours. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, I only have time for work then.
Yeah.
And then I don't have time to go on and check my own feed or do whatever because I was
Yes.
doing it for work.
Exactly.
So I agree. I don't think you can just be like, yes, you should limit it to 2 hours a day and
Yeah.
blah, 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 because, you know, but at the same time, you don't want that to satiate your friendship quota
Yeah,
kind of for
that's
the
a-
day.
that's a
Like,
perfect
you
word
know, like
for
you should have that craving to want to be around people and to do that. And so it's just like, ooh, you don't want it to be robbed of having more meaningful connection
Yeah.
because you're too involved. Like, I'll just stay home in my sweats and Instagram. You know,
Which is honestly a struggle for me a lot.
Yeah, and then even more so if you don't want to be with people at all, and that happens over an extended period of time. Boy, that's the red flag. I need to immerse. I gotta not just drive home. In California, people drive home to their garages, use their remote control garage, shut the door, and that's that.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta talk to your neighbor. You gotta connect with
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I suck at that. Dan was just telling us that the other night. He's like, we gotta bake some cookies and bring them to the neighbors, man.
That's good.
He's like, we don't even know them. But I think there is that that awareness. I feel like sometimes things like this, it's like I'll talk about it and I know all this stuff and I'll beat myself up. But then it's just like, dude, life throws you curveballs and you
Oh my
acknowledge
gosh,
it
yeah.
and then you adjust. That was another thing Dan and I were talking about last night. Some random thing that I'm not gonna bring up on camera that we screwed up. And he was like, dang it, man. And I was like, dude, literally we're doing our best. We're gonna adjust our course and then just keep going. Like, what are you gonna do? Sit there and just be upset at everything you messed up? It's like,
Yeah.
social media is brand new. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
No, there's a time to sit down and drink some beauty aloha tea.
exactly.
Like that.
Do you have anything to chime in?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that personally I struggled with balancing everything like that because it never stops. Like YouTube is always like
Yes.
it's either YouTube or it's Instagram or it's planning a new video or it's like never ending.
Feeling like you're gonna miss
It's editing.
out.
It's like
It
there's
doesn't
like
end.
so much, so it's really hard to say like okay at 6 p.m. I'm done for the day because you're like it's fine like whatever, but
Yeah,
then
it
you're
literally
like
doesn't end.
losing like your friendships and you're not losing but you're not benefiting those like feelings and friendships and giving them attention, and that's like hard because like once YouTube is done for the day you're kind of just like I don't know. I like to feel like whole that way because you have like the
Balance
YouTube
it.
aspect that's like invisible because you don't see anyone on there, but
Yes.
like it's fulfilling. But it's also fulfilling to have like real
Actual
like
friendships.
hi,
Yeah.
I can
The
actually
person
see
hi.
you. Yeah, it's like that balance is so important.
And someone who knows you too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like
Oh my
even
gosh,
though we're
yeah.
like we try to just be open and connect with people that are watching, it's like they don't know you.
Yeah, they think they do sometimes, and maybe
Yeah.
they do, but like
Or they know
don't
an element of you.
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
want
yeah.
everybody wants to be seen. And you can
Mhm.
only expose so much really to the internet, I feel like.
So true.
Well, it's like dating sites. You can meet someone that you connect with, and you're like, oh my gosh, this person is amazing. I know so many people. Once you meet them, it's like,
Mhm.
oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
how like you are repulsive. How did we like?
How did we connect online?
Exactly, you know, so it's hard and it can be deceiving and it's definitely not the same thing and you're right, it absolutely
Yeah.
needs to be balanced because if you starve one and feed the other, it's just, you know, anything that way needs to be
Oh,
in
yeah.
moderation.
So
I think.
true.
Yeah.
So,
So true.
is it an evil within itself? No, not at all, but it can be unhealthy when it's not kept
Totally.
in check, you know.
Totally.
No. On that note, do you want to pick the last question?
I do.
And we'll kind of semi-turbo through it because we're getting the 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Actually, specifically, she just like this.
Oh, so maybe
I like
not, maybe not.
No, we're gonna do
Turbo.
it. We're gonna turbo
Turbo
round.
round.
Turbo.
No,
Okay.
worries.
Okay. Where?
Take your time.
Yeah, he's got 23 minutes. He's good.
When people love you,
Oh,
not a
This is
question.
This is a cool question, actually. From Natalie with 4 E's _P.
Natalie.
Natalie. If you were to make your own social media app, what would it be called and what would you do
I
on
like
it?
that question.
We'll let you answer
And she
that.
said, love you.
Dude, I don't want to start it. I have to actually think for a second.
Oh, never mind. Just
Do you have an answer?
Can you read the question again?
You could make your own
Yes.
social media app.
If I could,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it would be one that would be able to more effectively, deeply communicate emotions, more than an emoticon, that when you got it, it would be like 3D emotions. You could go,
That's so good.
I know just how you feel.
You mean like Snapchat, like sending an actual message video-wise to
Better than Snapchat.
It's like,
But
I'm
that's
trying to get my
better.
head around this world that you're creating right now.
Yes, it'd be something that would make it would give tangibility to emotions. It would just go, oh,
That's so interesting. That's a good. Yeah.
That is really good. I don't. Okay, I don't have an answer for this. Social media apps.
Mhm.
The only app I've thought about lately. This is so stupid. And Maddie just looked up at me. She's like, "What is she gonna say? This is not entertaining. This is really dumb. And it's not even a social media app." But the only app I thought about when I was sick last week, I only did two things. I watched a crap ton of documentaries.
Yeah.
Like I'm severely educated on the civil rights movement now. It was all stuff on like the 60s, the 70s,
Yes.
the O.J. Simpson trial, all of that.
That's
So
awesome.
that, and then the only other thing I did was watch QVC. And all I kept thinking when I watched QVC, and they're going to do this, I was like, why? Because I watched it all from my phone. I have the Time Warner cable app on my phone, so I can watch TV on my phone now. I love it. So I'm lying there and I'm watching QVC, and I'm like, I really want to buy that, but I'm not gonna go pick up the phone. Like, I don't want to leave the television
Make it
channel right now and
easier.
find it on the site. I was like, this needs to be playing, and then a little pop-up needs to pop on the side and click add to your cart. And I could be like, why I do want to add that to my cart.
Like,
You
yes,
just keep
thank
watching,
you.
and then when you're done, you just check out. So,
Yeah.
boom, add on. But that's not an app that I created. That's way less deep than 3D emotions that someone can
It's like,
feel.
oh.
Yeah, but I bet yours will come into play
Yeah.
first.
I feel like mine is probably going to happen in a very short
There's
amount
a
of
lot of
time.
money in there.
I think they're already working on it. There's no way they're not working on that already.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a random
But
tangent.
it was a good one.
Yeah, okay, your turn.
Oh, mine would just be like, I guess they already have like Instagram and all that, but something it would just be for fails. Like real life, like you don't get to filter it, you don't get to edit it. It would be like the behind the scenes, like what's actually going on. Like people are like, oh, look at my vacation. It's like, no, show what it's actually like.
Oh!
Like, oh, look at mommy being a mommy is so great. It's like, no, but
Vomit.
you also get covered in poo.
Yeah.
Like, so it just have to be like,
Like fail or
yeah, exactly. Like, cut the shit.
Oh, that's a good one. See, she has the name. She's acting like, I don't know. She's got it all marketed. Tell her, you know, we're going to this app, how to get some promotion.
Patent pending.
Yeah. Don't take it.
No, but they have, you know, you could use that. But anyway.
Okay, Nishola, your turn.
Okay, this is like, I don't know how to phrase this, but kind of like an app that merges the whole YouTube side with news and like how news is like put out that
Uh-huh.
way. In my major we talk about this all the time and how like news is coming on YouTube now, but why isn't like news going on its own platform? I don't know how to explain that, but like, I mean it is already kind of, but
It's like a news platform for a network, or what do you mean?
kind of like a network. So instead of a news network or a news platform, what do I call it, having like the news on YouTube and a website and all this stuff, having like one place for like everything.
Oh, so it would almost be like if like YouTube was just excluded everyone except like, okay, well ABC is allowed to start a channel. CNN's allowed to start a channel.
Because they do have channels on YouTube, but there's also like they also have apps, and it's very like spread out.
That is extremely interesting because what was it last night? Oh, that writers roundtable that we were watching. Aaron Sorkin went on this whole rant, which if he ever watched this video, I actually completely disagreed with his rant. He was talking about how the internet is getting rid of credentials. He was like, nobody needs credentials anymore. And it was like, but I think that's kind of cool. Like I have 0 credentials, but I could kind of understand where he was coming from.
Yeah,
But he was
yeah.
talking about the news. That was a part of your rant that I agreed with, where he was like, people will get news, but it's like, now that anyone can give news, where is this news coming from?
Exactly.
Fake news.
Like, yeah, what is this news? And
Yeah.
so that's really interesting.
Yeah. Definitely.
So just one platform for all
yeah,
news.
one platform. I think.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, that was
Insight
good.
into that
I
field.
had,
So that's
I had like
interesting.
a whole project on this, and I was like, I would do this. I would have a news like YouTube thing because it's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
really
It'd
cool.
be really fun.
What a
Make
great
this
answer.
sad.
Come on.
Love it.
High fives all around.
Woo!
Yay! That's it, peeps.
Bang.
That's our tea talk today. So leave us any comments that you have down below, any thoughts that you have. Also check out all of our social media and our channels that will be linked in the info box down below. And that's pretty much it. Are we signing off?
I think
Our
so.
sign.
Peace off, G-Dogs. We'll see you
Ta-ta,
soon.
success.
Bye.
Bye.